Okay, so I'm going to go through how to install WordPress on an EC2 instance using Ubuntu, Apache, using the RDS database, not the native MySQL. I like RDS better, it's cleaner. We'll get an SSL certificate as well. This is great for WordPress sites. It's almost necessary for BuddyBoss sites because BuddyBoss does not run well on shared servers. So if you want to get a WordPress website up with your core web vitals starting at green instead of always battling to get the green, and you'll probably never get to 100 if you're on something like GoDaddy or SiteGround or WP Engine, right? This is the best way to get a really fast WordPress website. Okay, without further ado, we're in Amazon, Google Chrome. I'm already logged in. First thing we're going to do is set up our EC2 instance. And also quickly, you can find this, just Google Philip Rudy AWS EC2. Um, Philip Rudy AWS EC2, put that in Google and this article will come up. Okay, so we're on EC2 dashboard in AWS. We want to launch an instance. Name it, right? Name this audio symbol because that's what this is for. I like Ubuntu. Micro is too small. If you just click around, it'll like freeze. Micro really is for only things if the small, sub small. You need a small if you don't want your website to crash. Okay. We want to create a key pair, right? I'll call mine a PEM file. I'll call mine audio symbol. A PEM file, not a PPK. Or at least that's how I do it with PEM file. Okay, so it's downloaded. Take note of it. Okay, put this in a place that you keep all your other key pairs. Somewhere where you do a lot of work. On my Windows computer, and I do WSL, and I keep all my keys in AWS key pairs. All right, there's all my key pairs so far. So, if I just put this file there, later on we'll be able to SSH into the client. Okay, so make sure you do that. Make sure you keep noting where you put this because you can't download it again after this page. Create security group, allow SSH traffic. That's what we use our PEM from anywhere, 0, that's anywhere. We want to allow HTTPS, HTTP2. You can bump this up to 20. Don't go past 20 because I don't know if there's new billing or anything like that. And you can leave the advanced details blank. Don't go through here and click anything unless you're willing to pay money. Then just launch the instance. Okay, now while that's waiting, the next thing we're going to do is add our local SSH key. So we need to find it, first of all. I keep mine. It's pretty common to get an SSH, right? This one. Remember, I'm on WSL on Windows, so, right? Copy that to your clipboard. See the status of our instance. Running. Okay, cool. It's initializing. Let's see if we can. Okay, so eventually we're going to use that PEM key to connect via our terminal. But first we have to put our local public, so ID rsa.pub SSH key by using the in-house Amazon terminal. So we're on our EC2 instance server, right? And we have to add this to our Wait, I forget. It's in this. Yeah. Okay. So then I use them. Okay. A new line. There's already one in there, but we need to add our local one. Press I to edit this. And just paste what you had there before. So it needs to be on the next line down. You can leave this other one in there. Uh, Press escape, colon, WQ for write quit, exclamation point, force it. Okay, now once you do that, you should be able to connect using our authorized key. Um, and remember that was in my AWS folder. Okay, key pairs. All right, so here it is, audio symbol. I got to get rid of these zone identifier files. Those shouldn't be there. Don't worry about those. Okay, audio symbol.pem. If we go back to our instance, find our instance, go back to the Connect tab, but this time instead of the EC2 Instance Connect, we're going to go to SSH. Okay. Copy the quick command. Okay. Go to your terminal. Paste it there. Find the copy. There we go. All right. It's going to ask you just say yes. Okay. We're in our server. We are now SSH into our server. Right. Right. Okay. All right. And after that, we want to update our server. We're going with the LAMP stack now. Okay. I'm not sure if my copy boat's over here. So you can just run through these commands. Install Apache, right? So LAMP stands for Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, I think. I don't know, someone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm a WordPress developer that knows how to code really well, but like, I don't really speak the languages that well. Speak as like another developer. More of an SEO, to be honest with you. But, okay, so make sure you install correct version of PHP that you want. I'm going to do PHP 8.3. Oh, actually, okay. I think I'm accidentally. You just want to make sure you install PHP and all that stuff, right? So you can find this guide. It'll go through basically list of commands that we want to install. All the extensions, MB Spring, libapache support, all these modules that you need to run a WordPress site. Actually, let's tell chat to make sure that this is for PHP 8.3. Huh. Funny. First video these days got ChatGPT in them. Okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure it's for 8.3. Okay. And by the time you get to this document, this will be updated as well. Okay, so then install MySQL. That's going to allow us to use MySQL commands to connect to our RDS instance, even though we're not going to use the native MySQL for the database. We still need the CLI to connect to the RDS. Okay, so verify PHP. Okay, so every time you do a WordPress site, you got to change those PHP INI files for the max execution size, the upload size, the post max size, max execution time, max input time. This command just does that for you so you don't have to go into that document, but it only works if you use the right version of PHP because, right, 8.3. So Should be able just to like do all these. I'm gonna run them one at a time now. I'm not getting errors. I think it's working. Okay. Otherwise, this is the type of command that would error out. I'm going to do these one at a time, but this is just making it so I can upload big images in WordPress without getting that error. Um, or like weird timeouts if you're doing API calls. This just makes your WordPress website more powerful. Okay, now we want to download WordPress, the latest version of it, from WordPress.org using the wget command. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So let's do some temp directory because we're in a permissions issue. Okay, so in a temp directory, first we got to get it. Okay, there we go. Now it's downloading. Yeah, you can run that command with sudo, but let's just not use sudo for the moment. Then after this, we're gonna unzip it, and then we're gonna put it in a specific folder where our website will live. Okay, so okay. Now we're going to do some user mods so we can do the permission stuff. We're going to make our directory so our WordPress site will live in. This is where it'll live. Bare www.wordpress. You can make WordPress whatever you want. Some people put HTML, public HTML. I'm just going to put WordPress. And now I'm going to copy everything I just downloaded in this temp folder. All right, copy it. And I'm going to put it where directory we just created. Now, okay. Now we got to add permissions to this. Really what we want to do is have Ubuntu and www-data have the same permissions as WordPress. So I'm going to update this as well. So I want Ubuntu and www-data. So to do that, we have a little bit different than what this says, but I'll update this, like I said. By the time you find this again, we're giving it Ubuntu and www-data full permissions to read and write from the server. Okay. And this is like a specific WordPress based permissions. All the folders in WordPress we can upload to the Word uploads file folders. We can upload plugins in the UI. So the WordPress itself has permissions to write to the server. Okay. Okay. Next, set up your domain in Route 53. Okay. So if you bought your domain in Route 53, it's pretty simple. I'm never going to GoDaddy again after I've seen how easy it is to do everything with Route 53, and especially if you're launching an EC2 instance, and especially since GoDaddy's WordPress hosting is terrible. That's the reason why I started doing this. I usually buy all my domains on GoDaddy. I still have a ton of them there. Okay, but what we need to do now is we need to go. I've already bought a few domains. Okay. And we're going to set this up on codeunit.academy. So I've got a bunch of name servers here. Let's just delete all these now. Okay, so I'm in Route 53. I paused it for a second, and then I deleted all those, all those entries. What we do next is we need to set up our domain. Okay, so let's go to our EC2 instance that we made. Let's go to the IP address. And if we set up everything correctly, we should see this screen. Okay, which is good. We've seen the screen. Um, okay. Now, in Route 53, create a hosted zone for your domain. We want to create two A records for yourdomain.com and another for www.name.com that point to this IP address. So again, copy this IP address, go back to Route 53, find your domain name. All right, then just create record. We're going to create one without www that goes to the IP. Make sure there's no space here. All right, there's not good. And then create another one, and then put www, the IP of the EC2 instance. All right, so now it might take a minute to resolve, but it should be pretty quick. Once that resolves to this, we should see the same thing. Yep, cool, that's working. Now our domain is, that's how easy that was. All you gotta do is put a record in there. Okay, next is we want to set up our RDS. Okay. It's now called Aurora in RDS. You don't want to mess with Aurora. Just keep doing RDS. It's a pretty database, right? All right, cool. Let's create a database. ID Maria, MariaDB. Okay, free tier. Call it something. This is not the name of the database. It's just the name in the AWS console. We'll do the name of the database below. It's kind of tricky. It's easy to miss, so pay attention. I call myself Foxhound. It's a build yourself reference. Uh, wait, that's not my password. Make sure you remember this stuff. Okay, it's fine. Allocated storage. I think you can bump this up to 30, but keep it at 20. That's fine. Connect to. Don't connect to. Yes, we want to connect to an EC2 instance. Choose the one we just made. Audio simple. So make sure you connect it to the EC2. Public access. Yes. If you're not scared of, you know, I like to do public access because although we might have to do something, choose the VPC that you have. It comes with a VPC, so this is the one thing that I'm going to have to ask you to like figure out because I've already made a ton of VPCs, but you should have a default VPC if you have, if this is your first time doing this, just use the default one. Um, put a comment in there if you want me to explain that part, VPC. Password authentication, you don't need the iron stuff. Additional monitoring, no, don't click anything else except for this initial database name. Make sure you put it in here. Create the database. If you've done the free tier, you shouldn't have to pay for this if this is your first time and if you haven't met the free tier threshold. No, I don't want to add any add-ons. All right, so while that's creating, I'm going to pause. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so now their RDS is set up. Take a quick look at it. Here's the endpoint. These will be our db configs and our wp-config file. These are our security groups. So here, we might need to check up on these later to see if they allow traffic from the internet or not. I don't think they were set up to be public. So we might want to make these public if we want to connect using like by a table plus or something like that. Because we're not going to set up PHP MyAdmin in this tutorial. And I like to use table plus anyways. After this, we need to get into our wp-config file and start configuring WordPress. So find the terminal that we were in for WordPress. There it is. Okay. Now we're gonna wait. Oh shit. We have to copy this, right? Config sample. We want to move to wp-config.php. Oh, sudo move. Oh, that's not a good sign. You don't want to do sudo right now. You have to do some more permission stuff. You might set that up wrong. Alright, so okay, but sudo will work for now. There it is. Okay, now let's open it up. Let's do sudo though. They won't let us save us unless we do. Okay, our database name is audio symbol, because remember we defined that. And you can see that in configuration, I think. Yep, instance. Oh no, it's not gonna. Okay. Do you want to double check the database name? We can run the MySQL command. Uh, let's double check the database name. MySQL, the host is the RDS URL. The user, you gotta remember it, manual mouse, stock sound. They're gonna ask for a password. Hopefully you remember your password. Well, we gotta install these first. I thought I installed MySQL, but okay, let's go back to our command and reconnect. Enter password. And I don't usually interact much with this MySQL CLI, right? But if we just run the show data databases, we can see audio assumption. Okay, and then we just exit. Here you're checking. You don't have to do that step. And now we want to get back into our WP config, right? Okay. I'm gonna in hero. I gotta do stuff manually, man. Right? Oh no. I'm gonna pause this real quick. I'm not gonna show you my password. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna show my password, but you want to put the endpoint. It's like localhost. This is gonna be your RDS endpoint. I'm gonna do my password real quick. Pause this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I put in my password, and now we want to enter our WordPress salts. So we want to get rid of these. We want to run this command. We want to get our salts, right? And WordPress uses this for all different things. Mainly what I know about is like it's the cookies that we're using here. Okay, so let's just run this command. We get our salts. We can copy and paste all of this. So yeah, like cookies, sessions, you can do stuff like that, like anonymous users pretty much. Or just like in the browser, the application cookies. Ah, right. So let's delete all these lines. Oh no, that was too. Oh, now you want password. Okay, please don't tell me you want password. Okay, okay, so now we can paste these here. Okay. All right, so we set up our WP config. Now what we need to do is set up kind of like our virtual host. This is the part that annoys me the most. Um, okay, so unpaused here. And now we want to set up our virtual host as we discussed. And to do that, we want to look into our sites available folder. All right, so let's get to that folder and let's look what we have here. We're just seeing, okay, the defaults are there. And what should the defaults look like? They look like this. Okay, so we can actually, we actually need to create our, um, we need to create our domain specific one. So instead of the defaults, we're going to create one domain.com. Okay, let's worry about this one for now. We don't need to worry about the SSL one, the 443. We just need to worry about the 80. Obviously, mine says cover unit.academy. Yours needs to say whatever it should say. So make sure that the www is there as well. So server name and server alias, right? Okay, so copy this, just paste it in here. Got a little closing bracket in here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna work without cleaning up the indenting. So don't worry about that. You can disable default.conf, but really the next thing we want to do is enable it, right? So enable it. This again, sudo, this command again will be for your website. Then you gotta reload Apache. I don't remember my password. Um, oh yeah, it just needs to be, I need to add sudo to this. Okay. Let's rewrite command as well. Okay, then you can disable the conf, the default, right? And again, we gotta do that. Reload Apache. Okay. All right, now let's make sure. We should see the WordPress thing now. And we do. You know what? That's the first time this has worked on the first time for me. So if you followed this tutorial this far, congratulations. You've been able to get through my craziness bullshit. But we're not done yet. Okay, we need to install WordPress. I'm just going to change this password later. Include. Hey, email me at philip@read.com if you want to. Me to do a tutorial. I'm doing tutorials for like $10 maybe. Well, probably more than that, probably like $100. You pay me, I'll do a tutorial the next day. Okay, install WordPress, discourage the search engines from indexing the site. Yes, we don't want people to know about our development site. That's very important for SEO. Your first impression for Google is very important. Okay, so logged in and WordPress is no, it's just so much faster. It's almost like a React at how fast it is. These EC2 instances. If this was on WordPress engine, WP engine, this would be super slow. You'd have caching nightmares. Oh my God, I will never use a shared hosting company again. Okay. Um, Now we're gonna do cert bottoms. So SSL certificate, so we get that HTTPS. And we always gotta start with this update. App update. You know what to talk about. An app update, okay. And with Python, yeah, there you go. Is it the cert bot? Okay. Now we want to do the cert bot for both. And you know what? I think you have to. It's not this actually. It's Amazon SNS or something about somewhere. Something's gonna happen. Never mind. I don't even know what I'm saying. Okay. It's requesting a ticket. Just hit yes and yes to all these. Successfully created a certificate. Okay. Let's do a renew dry run. Let's make sure the auto renewal is working. Let's do the test. Here you did this. Let's take a repeat. Okay. Anyways, if we look into sites available now, look, certbot will automatically create your SSL version of this. So we can have to do that in the last step. Now, is this redirecting? I don't think it's redirecting yet. Oh, it is redirecting. Okay, cool. So yeah, it is redirecting. So now you have HTTPS, right? Okay, and the last thing we'll do is now that we have all this set up, okay, the host, let's go back to this is our FTP. Let's FTP into this. The host, let's just grab that IP address. That's just the cleanest way to do it in case we ever change. The host for the FTP will be this. Okay. I think it's SFTP, right? Yeah, because what we're going to need is the key file to connect with the EC2 instance. We're going to use, this. It's going to be a key file. So you need to find that file that you made, key pairs, make sure you drop down the pen, probably similar. And should connect. All right, we're there. All right, so remember your WordPress is in there. www WordPress. Okay, here we are. All right, connected FTP, and that's that. Reach out to me at philiparudy.com or just Google Philip Rudy Freelancer. And if you have any questions, I can help you out. The first 100 people that email me, I'll help out for free. All right, thank you.